Now, welcome to my first ever Sunday conversation video. These are going to be similar to my Sunday commentary videos where I maybe go a little off topic. The big difference here is these will be unscripted, sort of off-the-cuff conversations about, well, whatever topic happens to come to mind, or maybe a topic that somebody brings up to me during the week that they'd like to hear me discuss, assuming people enjoy this and want me to do more of it. Anyway, today there's basically three different things I want to discuss that are all sort of related and center around the disconnect between the fan and the company who owns the property that they love. And to even begin the discussion, we have to go back to the day I heard that Disney had purchased Lucasfilm, which was a day I was partially excited because I knew that meant we were going to get a lot more Star Wars content than we were ever going to get under George Lucas. Yet at the same time, I was afraid it would become this Disneyfied, oversaturated, over-commercialized monstrosity used to leech as much money as possible from Star Wars fans who just want to consume Star Wars, and that it wouldn't be special anymore, that it would lose something. And don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that George Lucas didn't commercialize Star Wars and didn't put out plenty of merchandise. I'm always reminded of that scene in Spaceballs with yogurt and how he talks about that merchandising is where the real money is in a movie. But anyway, I was afraid that Disney was just going to take this to the extreme. That they were going to just, like I said, leech as much money as possible from this thing. Which brings us to the Starcruiser, Disney Galactic Starcruiser hotel or resort. Now, just the other day I saw the trailer, I guess, for it, which was, first of all, kind of poorly made. It was, I don't know how to even describe the acting in it. It was just over the top to the extreme. And my initial impression was not that this is Star Wars. My initial impression was this was a hybrid of Star Trek and maybe The Fifth Element. Because to me, Star Wars is not about a cruise around the galaxy on a luxury liner. It is the opposite. It is gritty, it is dirty, it is real. And look, if you are someone who thinks this looks amazing and you can't wait, and maybe you already have your reservations booked, that's great. You can do you, and I can do me, and I can talk about what I think is just an overpriced, a way overpriced Star Wars experience that really isn't a Star Wars experience to me. I don't understand, one of their main selling points is lightsaber training. To me, that makes the Jedi's weapon, this sacred Jedi's weapon, sort of like a gimmick that people gallivanting around the galaxy with, all this money on a luxury cruise just practice with for the heck of it. And one of the first things I thought when I saw the look of this is this like Canto Bight in space? Is the reason why we got that scene in The Last Jedi? Which, look, love or hate that movie, I think is just a terrible scene. It's an irrelevant, pointless scene. I mean, did we get that because they wanted to introduce this idea of the people with wealth in the galaxy and how high society lives, and that, look, you too can venture to Canto Bight in space as it goes across the galaxy? And I don't know if that's true or not, but it just misses with me. I don't think of money and wealth in Star Wars. Not saying that there aren't characters who have money and wealth in Star Wars, but that's not what I think. I think, again, gritty and dirty, not whatever this is. And I say that even if it was affordable, which for the average Star Wars fan, it is not. This costs roughly $5,000 for 2 nights for 2 people, and that is the baseline basic room. If you have a family of 4, this is closer to $6,000. And again, the basic room, and I don't even know how much that includes. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it includes, a couple meals and so on, but it doesn't cover your cost to get to Disney World if you don't happen to live anywhere near it, like I don't, for example. And to me, this is the worst thing you can do with Star Wars. This is something that is for people who have a lot of money, let's be honest. And to me, Star Wars is something that could be enjoyed by everybody and anybody. I'm not saying I begrudge people who can easily afford this and do this. I understand that's how the world works, but to me, it misses the mark. And it goes back to what I was talking about. This is kind of the exploitation of Star Wars to do something that only a very few or select few can really do and enjoy. So, I don't know, Disney. I understand you want to make money with Star Wars. I understand that's why you bought a Lucasfilm. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them making money, and a lot of money, if they make good Star Wars, if they connect with the fans, if they give us more or less what we want. And I understand that too isn't easy because all fans want something different, as I've was kind of saying before, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are super excited about this, who will spend thousands of dollars without thinking twice because they have plenty of money. But then there's probably people who would really, really love to do this, and there's just no way, unless they save for a lifetime for the dream vacation, that they're ever going to pull this off. And then is 2 days of whatever this is going to be worth that? Is it going to be worth them basically a down payment for a car, or maybe the start of a down payment for a house, just to go to this 2 days of Starcruiser? Anyway, another thing I want to talk about briefly here is the Haslab Black Series Rancor. And I've talked about this a lot on my second channel, so I won't go too much into it here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't know what this is, if you don't collect Star Wars action figures and such, basically Hasbro, a billion-dollar company, has launched a GoFundMe. And this isn't the first they've done this before, but they've launched what essentially is a GoFundMe to create a 6-inch scale Rancor from Return of the Jedi, of course. And the big problem with it is really expensive, go figure, and probably more expensive than it needs to be. Not probably, let's be honest, it is. It is $350 if you want to back this thing for just a giant 17-inch tall piece of plastic, which I'm not saying isn't cool or can't look cool. I'm not saying, again, that you can't want this. I personally do want this because I collect, I love Return of the Jedi, and the Rancor is one of my favorite creatures. However, what's been interesting here is that, again, there has been a big sort of disconnect between the customer and the one making the product, because that $350 is a lot of money, and a lot of fans initially didn't want to back this, go figure. They were waiting for what are called the tier unlocks. If a certain number of people back it, then you get a little extra. If a certain number, again, backs it, a higher number, you get a little more. And well, the unlocks that they showed us were very, shall we say, disappointing. And kind of in the 11th hour, they tried to sweeten the deal by including an action figure everybody wants if you want a Rancor, which is Malakili or the Rancor Keeper. And that kind of started to bring people back. But it also started another sort of movement to kind of make a point that, you know, you can't just charge ridiculous amounts of money and expect Star Wars fans to jump and to buy something. $350 is a lot of money. And, you know, I understand it costs a lot of money to, you know, create something, or create the tooling, as they call it, for creating a action figure or a giant action figure like the Rancor. And again, I understand they want to make money. I don't really have a problem with that. You make a quality product, I will pay a fair price for it. But $350 is not a fair price, especially for the extras that are not guaranteed that they're including. And so there's kind of been this game of chicken, you could say, between the fans and Hasbro right now, where fans have been backing out. They don't want to support this. They want to make a point. They want to make a stand against, you know, a company that maybe doesn't care so much about them. A company that, you know, is trying to do the bare minimum to make as much as possible, which is unfortunately what a lot of companies do, which is what most companies probably do. It's not about, hey, what do our customers want? What can we do to satisfy the most customers, to make them happy, to make them want to buy our products, to make them proud to buy our products and own our products, to serve them the best way possible. It's about what is the bare minimum that we can do? What can we get away with, and how much can we charge for it? That is exactly how I feel this situation with the Haslab Black Series Rancor has been. And it's been really cool to see a lot of fans resisting and saying, no, we're not going to take this. You need to do better. We are not just going to buy something because it is Star Wars. And, you know, I get a lot of flack from some people for being quote-unquote negative at times, or toxic, as some like to label me. When in reality, what I try to do is be honest and fair. When Disney does something good with Star Wars, I will say as such. When they do something that I don't think is very good, I will also say as such. Not to assume or treat them like a dog, but, you know, you want to reinforce positive behavior and you want to discourage negative behavior. Which sort of transitions into the third thing I want to talk about, which relates back to the Star Wars issues as well, even though it is going to be World of Warcraft I want to talk about, a game I've played on and off for 17 years, and how recently there has been a 180 in attitude from the company, not just because they've had some issues outside of making games, some big issues and some terrible issues, but they have had a change of attitude in their development of the game. They are now listening to fans very intently, or at least trying to listen to fans, trying to give them things they have been asking for years, literally in some cases. And of course, the question to that is, why didn't you do this before? Why does it take 17 years to do something that fans have been asking 17 years for, or customers have been asking 17 years for, the people who are paying your salaries and paying for your company to even exist? And I think it goes partially to arrogance, partially to we know better than you about how to make a game. But it also goes again to this problem I discussed before of, the company's mindset is, what is the minimum we can do that they will pay for? And I think it's kind of funny because maybe I'm dead wrong. I'm not a financial expert here. I don't own a company. But to me, wouldn't it make more sense to give customers what they want, to do everything you can to make them happy, to keep them as customers, to give them the things they want? Wouldn't that actually make them want to spend more money on your product? Wouldn't that actually make you more money? Again, I go back to the Rancor. There were a lot of things, extra things fans wanted attached to the Rancor, like the Rancor Keep or Ula, the slave dancer from the movie. And if you would just initially have given fans these things, they would have paid your $350 price tag. And a lot of them probably would have done that. They probably would have sold a lot of Rancors, and they probably would have made a lot of money. And at the same time, the fans would have gotten exactly what they wanted. And what's really sad for these companies, not that you should feel sad for them, but is they have gotten to the point now, whether that be Lucasfilm and the way they handle Star Wars, or Hasbro and the way they handle action figures, or Blizzard and the way they handle Warcraft, is you have a part of your fan base you have turned so against you at this point that they are so angry at you. And I'm not saying you can't be angry, but they are so angry that even your attempts to rectify things will be met with, if not skepticism, outright denial, if you will, that they won't believe you. And even if they do believe you have good intentions, they don't want to support you anymore. You have lost them as a customer because you have nickeled and dimed them so much. You have lied to them so much. You have misled them so much that they are never going to trust you again. Whereas if you had just listened to them, if you had been honest with them, if you had tried to give them the product they actually wanted, they would be happy to give you their money because they want you to succeed. People want Star Wars to succeed. They want World of Warcraft to succeed. They want to like the people who make these games or these movies or whatever it might be, or the action figures. But when you try to, just like I said, when you try to just do the minimum to keep them appeased, you're eventually people are going to see beyond the veil. People are going to figure that out. People are going to get sick and tired of you not caring about what you're making as much as they care about it. And so I hope, yet unfortunately doubt, that what is going on with World of Warcraft and its developers, what is happening right now with Hasbro, and they seem to be yielding to fans realizing, hey, we just can't throw a $350 Rancor out there and expect people to buy it. I hope this could be a start of a change that leads to a revolution where, again, companies realize that the happier you make your customers, the more you give them, the more they will give you, the more money you will ultimately make, and the happier everyone will be. Well, that's all I've got for you this time. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think about any and all of this and what you think about this video. Did you enjoy this? Do you like me rambling about these topics? Or do you think I should stick to scripted videos? Whatever the case may be, leave a comment below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.